Records. Making him famous, right? Introducing him to the right people.
Well, I don't know. I think you guys are the future of the music business.
Yeah, Hunnypot!
I'm looking for you, man, to revitalize this business.
Well, what do you think is a turning point? Because I think, you know, one of the reasons that people loved NWA, I think one of the reasons that your work was so exciting to so many people was that it was honest. And I think that, you know, young people know what's truthful and they know what's false. And I imagine that, you know, when people like Suge Knight come into the game, they kind of carry a certain energy of their own. And I would imagine that you can sense that when that pendulum shifts. Do you have a sense that, you know, sort of there was a turn in hip-hop and that turn kind of moved it in one direction, and what can we do to swing it into another direction?
I think Suge Knight was really marked the end of hip-hop. And, you know, there's two things that happened where I thought I really let Easy down. Number one, I misjudged the relationship between Easy and Dre. I never thought that anyone could come between Easy and Dre. They were lifelong friends. And when Suge Knight came between them, I mean, that was really a misjudgment on my part, and I was getting paid way too much money to make that kind of misjudgment. The other thing was that one day I came in, you know, we had these Mossad guys that were sort of at Ruthless to stabilize the Suge Knight influence, who had been a bodyguard, you know, for the DOC at Ruthless. And I came in one day and Easy was sitting there with this Mossad guy that had led a raid into southern Lebanon and captured those Black September guys that had blown up a school bus with Israeli kids in it. And I said, "What are you guys talking about?" And they said, Easy said to me, "I want to kill Suge Knight." And I said, well, let me just think this through. I said, "We're doing $10 million a month. We have 6 employees. We don't even have a typewriter in the office. We've never turned out a piece of paper here. And you want to kill this guy, Suge Knight." I said, "Maybe I'm just not a wartime consigliere. But, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. And you know something? I should have let him kill Suge Knight.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
That was one of the two mistakes that I made at Ruthless.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a revamping of the Priority Records situation, and I understand that NWA Records and Eazy's Records are coming out of that. With Snoop being the helm of this new Priority Records 25th anniversary movement, what do you think is going to be the state of that when they reissue these records now?
Well, I think it's too late. You know, this is 2010. You know, Eazy died in '95. We put out our last record, you know, in 91 or 92. So I think that, remember, there's two parts to the word music business. There's the music part and the business part, and Snoop is really not part of the business part. And I think that, you know, if this would have been done, it should have been done a long time ago, and they really should have involved a lot more of the original people like Phyllis Pollock, the publicist, and Pat Charbonnet, and they should have really involved, you know, the original people who were there. I just think that it's too late for that. So, you know, while I think that, you know, it's nice that EMI, who, by the way, will be out of business in 2 weeks, is doing this, I think that it's too late, and really they should have done it a long time ago. And the problem is that the majors, you know, have really never liked rap music.
Sure.
So, you know, they got involved with it because they knew there was money there. But, you know, none of them really liked it. So, you know, they depended on guys like Eazy and I, who delivered them finished product and did all the marketing. We did everything. So, you know, when it came down to being able to do it themselves, they just weren't up to the task. I remember when we sold the Chronic to Jimmy Iovine, you know, he said to me, "Look, I'm paying really a lot of money for this." He said, "Is this any good?" And I mean, give me a fucking break, man, you know. I sold him the Chronic.
Yeah. And then, well, Bone Thugs and Harmony was a project that you got involved with.
Well,
you
that
know,
was
that was
totally, that was easy, man. You know, he called me from Cleveland, my hometown, and he was just doing this little tour by himself, and he found these guys standing around this fire, you know, out in back of the club, and a couple of the bodyguards brought him in, and they rapped for him, and he called me, and he said, listen, he said, you better bring these guys out there, and, you know, we gave him bus tickets, because Easy was still going to be on the road for a while. And, you know, they came to California, and Easy really was with them 24 hours a day. So that album was really easy and unique, and Tony C. And so, you know, as soon as that came out, then of course they changed that around too. That was when he died. Great records. They could have been the biggest group of all time. I still think Crossroads is probably the best rap single that's ever been made.
First of the month at Crossroads, forget it. Greatest one.
First to the second one. The Crossroads, there's the remix that was more popular. The first of the
Crossroads and then the Crossroads
first
remix.
word, respect.
So where are you headed to now? I mean, you've obviously paved an astonishing, you know, history for us, and I imagine that, you know, you want to keep on working, want to keep on building. What's your next direction?
I teach college at UCLA, and I do some speaking, and I have a television show that I'm putting together with my good friend, longtime friend Irving Azoff, and Tom Hanks, Gary Getzman, and you know, I'm involved with this rock group on Blast, who I think are probably, you know, the best group that I've heard in a long time. The only one that really has gotten me excited enough to get back involved into rock and roll.
I'm down. Mr. Heller, I am admired by you.
You're admired by
The music that came out of Ruthless Records have set the tone for the West Coast. You would say somewhat Generation X baby boomers, because if you didn't have Fuck the Police, you wouldn't have your games. If you didn't have your Eazy-E's and your Boys in the Hoods, you wouldn't even have a Boys in the Hood group that's coming out of the South.
Right,
if you didn't have all that...
Don't forget K-Day, man.
Oh, K-Day, Julio G, Greg Mack and the Mac Attack, Tony G. Hey, what's up to all y'all? Because 1580 K-Day set a standard in radio. The Mix Masters, and there's still original Mix Masters still running around doing shows today. There are dancers that came out here and on the West Coast, the Creepers, the Soul Brothers, the Godfathers. We danced to those Eazy-E's NWA records. We rolled down them blocks and 6-4s out here in these West Coast. Mr. Heller, you done came out here and you done set the standard of what this new generation can do as far as the music business majors and the kids that's listening, because we listen to these records. We take these records and we try and flip their dialect, their dialogue. We try and do what we can to set that standard up there. I'm hoping it's not a lost cause, because we done lost Easy, we done lost, you know, Pac, we done lost Biggie and these things, but there's music that still needs to be absorbed, and for generations to come, you are still going to be labeled and tagged with it. Even with the dish records and all that, you are still a guy that is going to be here, is going to be there, and these records are going to still stand the test of time. And the people that's here at Hunnypot Radio tonight that came through, they here to see what's going to be the next best thing, and I think on Blast is on everybody that's here, let's try and go to the next level. And I know you got another band here on Blast. So John, go on, take it through.
Set it alive, man.
Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting 2 weeks to pick this man's brain, and I got this chance, and I'm shaking in my boots, because this is, man, music. Hey, NWA. Hey, what's up to everybody that's affiliated with that? Pat and Charbonnet. Hey, I used to work at Power 106. I used to call this lady all the time and whatnot. So, anyway, thank you, Mr. Heller. Thanks for everybody that came through. Much love.
So this band on Blast, who turned you on to these guys?
Well, actually, Pablito Vasquez, my partner, was the first one that saw him. and you know, he's just been on their trip since the very first day that we saw him in Long Beach.
Cool, perfect, perfect. Well, I'll tell you what, let's play a song right now by On Blast. We'll get the guys up to the microphones, talk to them in a second. But thank you, Jerry Heller. Thank you for coming.